Day has consistently ranked the nation's top 500 companies by market capitalization, earning its reputation as a leading source of credible corporate information. A compass for corporate excellence, the BT500 has set the benchmark for success and inspiration in the business community. From witnessing the rise of titans, the birth of unicorns, the game-changing strategies, the BT500 has become synonymous with success, inspiring generations to dream bigger and achieve more. From the boardrooms to the factory floors, from the stock exchanges to the innovation hubs, the BT500 has been more than just a ranking. It's a legacy of excellence, a testament to the power of innovation and a beacon of hope for the future of Indian business.
All right. With a quick show of hands in the audience, since everyone is recharged, how many of y'all have been at some point advised or intended to grow your wealth via mutual funds? Quick show of hands. All right, this is the right audience, and that's what we do in the Business Today Multiverse. Get the right message to the right set of people. The next session is titled Growing Your Wealth with Mutual Funds, where we'll be exploring ways to create and build wealth via mutual funds and SIPs. Now, if I speak a little faster, I might sound like that announcement at the end of mutual fund commercials, so I'm going to slow down and tell you about our next guest. P Singh, Deputy Managing Director and Joint CEO at SBI Mutual Funds. Welcome, sir. And this particular chat will be moderated by my colleague, Sakshi Batra. Now, we want a huge round of applause because you've had a nice little break there.
Good evening. Good to see a full and packed house, because this is the conversation that you really want to hear. You know, we are talking about mutual funds, and throughout the session you've talked, you've heard about SIPs, and this is the best session that you want to really listen to. So the mutual fund industry, as we all know, is at a very, very sweet spot. We're seeing SIP flows at record levels, 17,000 odd crore rupees flowing in on a monthly basis. The assets under management for the entire industry at 50 trillion. We've set the eyes now at 100 trillion as well. And now, you know, the bigger question here would be to find out, when we talk about the journey from 50 trillion to 100 trillion, how is the growth of the retail investors going to pan out to be? How many are we going to add into the journey as well? And that is really going to be the focus of this discussion. And how do retail investors really, at large, grow their wealth with mutual funds? So let me first mention a few numbers, sir. You are the data guy here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. When we talk about a population of 140 crores, there are only 4 crore investors of mutual funds in India. 10 crores are investors of stock markets. And we have about 25 crore FD accounts in India. Now, I want you to tell us, despite being a very well-regulated industry, everybody understanding the importance of creating wealth with mutual funds, why are the numbers so low even now?
So I think first of all, see, one big trend I have seen in the last 15 days, especially after this number of 17,000 crore plus came, all those wealth managers who were talking about the AEFs and PMSs and everything, everybody has started talking only about SIPs. Okay, that's something I'm amazed. Even the other day I was talking to one wealth manager whose ticket size used to be minimum 5 crores to 50 crores category. They are saying now we have started getting the SIPs of 10 lakh rupees. So on the one side we are talking about 250 rupees SIP, and the other side we are talking about 10 lakh minimum SIP. So the country is giving such a diverse number. I think the mutual fund सही में सही हो गया है, बट अभी उस सही को कैसे कहाँ तक लेके जाना है वो हमारा काम शुरू हुआ है. I think it's a great journey which has just started, but I think this SIP story is a global success story. Anybody from abroad, whosoever is visiting India now, and by the way, a lot of people are coming to India, and they are feeling missed out from all across the globe, that we have missed out the journey in India. And today also we had one AMC coming from Tokyo and talking to us, how can we participate in this journey? And when we tell them about the SAP journey, there's a wow thing, because nobody across any geography has been able to do this. So in this background, I think the people who have not participated, as we said, the 4 crores, these 10 crores people will definitely join the bandwagon. See, today, especially the millennials, for the last 6-7 years, they have seen only one side of the story. But the strong research, the strong analysis of the company, which is green buying mutual fund, will force everybody to come through the mutual funds. And I am very, very optimistic that this journey of 50 trillion to 100 trillion will not take even that much time as you were talking about.
How long will it take, sir?
It cannot be 2030. It will be much earlier.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, sir, tell us, you talked about a little bit that you're getting 10 lakh rupee SIPs also, and you just heard, in fact, SEBI chairperson Madhabi Buch also talked about the 250 rupees sachet mutual fund SIPs on our platform in the previous event, Most Powerful Women itself on Business Today. Tell us your thoughts about it. Do you think that could be a great way to get all the other people who have so far stayed away or maybe on the edge and not invested yet through mutual funds for growing their wealth can now be onboarded? Because we are talking about 80 to 90% of Bharat there. Is that a great way?
No, that is agreeable, but easier said than done. Because getting so many number of people with sachet 250 rupees SIP, because today the operational cost is very high. For any transaction of at SIP, the minimum cost for the SIP is minimum 50 to 70 rupees. And on a SIP of 250 rupees, the actual expenditure itself, the earning will not be more than 8 to 9 rupees per year. So that in that background, I think the regulator, the government, everybody wants that in last 10 years, whatever has happened in India, now this is the movement of from Jan Dhan to Jan Nivesh. All those people have to do, and once they announce some dispensation on the KYC, on the operational cost, I think this is absolutely doable. But this 4 crores then will not be 10 crores, then it will be 20, 30 crores. If we talk about the Jan Dhan accounts, and in an average balance in those accounts is more than 4,000 rupees. So all those people who are getting direct benefit, all those people, they will get it. But yes, it will take some time. It's not as easy. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It will take some time because regulators will also do something, government will announce something, and of course, all those things will happen post the elections. And I'm sure this will happen, but we have to wait and watch.
That's a wonderful, phrase that you've said, Jan Dhan to Jan Nivesh, and perhaps that could be a campaign from the mutual funds industry and from stalwarts. You've been into this industry for a far too long time. You also said one thing, that, by now most of us, a majority of the people in this room also would agree that mutual funds sahi hai. But कौन सा वाला सही है is the question.
कौन से वाला सही है, कितना सही है और किसके लिए सही है?
1500 से ज्यादा स्कीम्स है सर. लोग कैसे समझेंगे कि कौन सी स्कीम में निवेश करना है?
No, that's another point. वो किस में निवेश करना है उसके लिए एक्चुअली ये जो हाइब्रिड की जर्नी है वो बहुत जरूरी है. You can't just take everybody straight to the equities. There are so many beautiful products like multi-asset allocation fund, like your balance advantage funds, and so on and so forth. So people have to start from there. So it's anybody, some tadka of equity is a must. So that is definitely required for anybody. So this 4 crores to 40 crores, forget about the another 4 crores. But then 8 crores above, they have to start their journey through hybrids only, because hybrids the way, because we don't want, what we have seen, see, our fund house is 35 years old. We have seen 3-4 cycles. The generation which burns their fingers doesn't come back to the industry at least for a decade. Then we have to look for another generation. So we don't want this to happen because market is cyclical, it will go up and down. We don't want anybody to burn their fingers in a big way. Let them come through hybrid mode. At least they will have good experiences. And they should graduate from hybrids to diversified equity funds, to thematics, to PMSs, and so on and so forth over the period of time. It should not happen. And that's an issue. When we look at the distributors, mutual fund distributors, one number is so low, very, very low number of distributors across the country. And second, most of them, especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, they feel that the equities is the only way. They are not selling the hybrid funds. So that is the way, that is where we have to educate, we have to reach out to them, tell them, educate them. The more than investor education, distributor education is also equally important.
Right. So in your experience, have you also seen, heard about how 10 crore demat accounts, we have crossed that figure during COVID-19 period. A lot of them really entered into the fray. Have you seen that kind of growth even in mutual fund numbers? And is this a sustainable growth at large as well? And are you also looking at participation coming in from, say, tier 2 and tier 3 cities now?
Yeah. No, see, if we look at the growth, actually we sometimes, we must look at the numbers also critically, right? See, we always say that banking industry is growing by 10% and the mutual fund industry has grown by blah, blah, 18%, 16%, 17%. We are doing so well. But we have to understand the capitalization of deposit happens at 5 to 6% only, because that is the cost of deposit of banks. And our industry has given a growth in the equities of 14, 15% of the last 3 years. So it's a natural. If you factor that and realize that we have not done a great job, we have so much else to do. I mean, numbers are not that great as we look at, and if we look at this year's number also, we are talking about 17,000, looks very good. But if you look at on an average 14,000 till now, 9 months, our net sales are much lesser than half of it. So what is happening? The people who are putting lump sum, they are booking profits. The people who are running their SIPs also, they are also taking the money out. So we have to go deeper into the numbers. We should not be very happy about the numbers. 50 trillion looks good optically, but actually depth is lesser. We need to be seriously working towards investor education of having a disciplined investment. That's very important.
So what could be the plan in action to tap those untapped people? Say many of the people even in this room may not have had an exposure to mutual funds until now. Are they really?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Everybody in the room will be having that.
Let's have a show of hands.
Yeah, show of hands.
Is
Who is
everybody
not
investing
having
in mutual funds? Oh, that's 90%. That's a good number. That's a fabulous number.
World investors have really, everybody is there in mutual fund, but we have to, this is not in Bharat.
But for all of those who have still not started, what would you say? How will they come on? Are they really missing out on one of the best ways to create wealth, if not the best?
No, this is the best. Actually, this is the best. Why I am saying so? Because on the other things, we are taking a lot of risk. Actually, one thing is, this is too liquid a product. Perhaps we have sold liquidity too much, more than required. Everybody feels as it's a bank account, tomorrow I'll take it. So actually there's a structural issue. Till the time the inflows are more than outflows, things are going great. But the day when our outflows are more than the small caps and mid caps, there is an issue which even regulator has raised. The issue, we have to be very conscious of the fact that liquidity always remains an issue. We should not sell everything T plus zero kind of thing. So that's something which we need to be very conscious of.
Okay, so the stock markets are at record high levels and everybody is just wondering about whether it's an overheated space right now. Are the valuations too stretched? When it comes to the mutual funds as well, would you still hope to see similar amount of the money that's coming in the previous 1 year time frame when we saw this journey of 10% of a surge on the markets, even going forward, even at record levels?
Yeah, it will. Because see, even just before coming here, I was sitting with one of my analysts. So I asked him the same question, that there's just concern about the valuation. He said the ideas are much more than the number of stocks. Even today, when businesses are booming, when there are so many businesses all across the country, we know even in India, every district will have so many good businesses who are turnover is in hundreds and thousands of crores, but still running in the partnership firms. They have not even seen the phase of the corporatization. There are so many ideas. I think things are very good for us. We are at the sweetest spot at the time. Things will definitely be better. Don't look at only the Sensex numbers, because this is for 50 stocks only. But and depth is there, in the businesses depth is there. May not be in the listed side, but we have to look at that side.
Right. So you were taking a few names. You were saying that at least a newbie should start off with a hybrid fund, move on to a balanced advantage fund. There are overnight funds, then there are target maturity funds. I take all of these names and a lot of people will get confused with the kind of nomenclature that you have also in the industry. Is there a need for simplification? Because people will say, "Ye to sab mujhe samajh nahi aata, main FD mein hi paisa dal deta hu."
No, I'll give you an example. We are a company promoted by State Bank of India. They are having 23,000 branches all across the country. Very simple. The most risky product which we sell there is the equity hybrid fund, aggressive hybrid fund. From our side, okay, somebody is coming and asking for something is different. Starting with conservative hybrid, only 5 schemes. Starting with money market fund, going to conservative hybrid fund, going to balance advantage fund, and hybrid equity hybrid, aggressive hybrid fund. That's it. 5 funds are being sold, so that and sometime like funds like arbitrage funds, so that they can park their money there. We have given a pitch book for 5 funds for this small, simple investor, so that they get into the summer. And if you look at it, that's evident from the fact. The largest fund of the country is our SBI Equity Hybrid Fund, which is 63,000 crore fund. And out of that 63,000 crore, 42,000 crore has been distributed by SBI branches. Simple, returns are less, everything is less, but people are not having the bad experience. They are having simple double-digit return, 9%, 11%. And the majority of the people are like those only. We should not be selling very high return fundas into the market. Some money coming into the equities is good enough for the first timer. That is something that is the thought process which is there. And it's not, I'm not saying SBI is one distributor. And we lack more number of distributors like this who can, if we want to make it from 4 crores to 10 crores, there should be at least 3 to 4 crore investors in the hybrids only. That's our thought process. That's what we want to take it to the.
Fair enough. You know, sir, I'm reminded of one film, Akshay Kumar film, which talked about 25 din mein paisa double. You know, that is the psychology a lot of people in India also have. We want to get rich, but the problem happens when we want to get rich quickly.
Yeah.
You know, but in mutual funds, क्या पैसा डबल होता है 25 दिन में नहीं, कुछ तो साल में डबल हो
पैसा तो डबल क्या ट्रिपल होता है, बहुत जल्दी भी होता है. 3 साल में 3 गुना वाले फंड्स भी हैं, फंड्स में हुए, आइडियाज हैं. But it's not, we can't say that कि 3 साल में 3 गुना हुआ है तो 6 साल में 6 गुना होगा. Right? It can happen. Like 6 साल में 6 गुना, जो 3 साल में 3 गुना हुआ है. Actually, if you look at the compounded return, we are not talking too big. It's 25-30% only. हो जाएगा. तो हम कहते हैं कि 10 साल में 10 गुना होता है. That's possible. But it's not everywhere. You should not look at it 3 साल में 3 गुना. We have a fund which has actually grown 3 times in 3 years. I'm not here to pitch any fund or something. Absolutely. But this is there. होता है, but you have to be, some portion you can put in there, 5%, 10% of your, which are high risk, high return funds. Yeah. You can do that. If the going is good, it will happen.
तो अभी तक किसी ने नहीं किया तो सिर्फ शुरू कर दें.
बिल्कुल करना चाहिए. इस रूम में तो बैठे हैं, वो सारे हाई रिस्क वाले बंदे हैं, वो सारे कर सकते हैं.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for being with us on this special chat, and thank you so much for sharing such wonderful insights. Many thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Thank you, Sakshi. Now, the next conversation will focus on a mix of broad themes, including the current global macroeconomic situation, the state of the Indian economy, inflation, a weak global growth, and a lot more. The next session is titled